Come and listen to the story about a man named Jed. The poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up to the ground come a bubbling crude
Oil, that is.
black gold.
Texas tea.
Well, the first thing you know, old Jed is a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. So they loaded up the truck, and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools. Movie stars. The Beverly Hillbillies. In the pleasant warmth of the California sun, Miss Jane stood waiting with an anxious expression. I hope she is not ailing, she murmured to herself, adjusting her papers. Oh, no. She is in with Mr. Drysdale, came the reassuring reply from nearby. She will be right out. Hey, are not you the girl that Shorty Kellums is so fond of? Yes, how is the little darling? Miss Jane asked, her face lighting up at the mention of the name. He is getting married tomorrow. The answer came with a mix of excitement and finality. The wedding is going to be at our place. Would you like to come? Oh, thank you, Miss Jane replied, though her voice carried a touch of wistful melancholy. But I could never see Shorty married to another woman. He is so cute. We have had such fun together. Yeah, Shorty says you two likes to go dancing. Oh, he's a marvelous dancer, Miss Jane recalled with a fond smile. Oh, and so cuddly. Well, you have had your last dance with little Cuddly, came a sharp voice, cutting through the nostalgia. What a pity, Miss Jane sighed. Just then, the door opened, and the familiar faces of the Mountain family appeared. Granny, Mr. Clampett, what a pleasant surprise, Mr. Drysdale beamed, stepping forward with his hands outstretched. Welcome, welcome. We are honored by your presence. Was we supposed to bring presents? Granny asked, looking around sharply. You got a ring to show us? No, I simply meant. Mr. Drysdale stammered, trying to find his footing.
Oh, come in.
Thank you, Jed Clampett said in his slow, polite drawl. We just dropped by to invite the both of you to Shorty wedding. So he is finally marrying Alverna, Mr. Drysdale said, nodding knowingly. That is right. When is the happy event? Well, the happy event was yesterday, when Shorty locked herself in your secretarial pool, Granny remarked dryly. The wedding is tomorrow. 3 o'clock. Can you come? It is up to the chief, Miss Jane said, looking toward her boss. Oh, we will be there if Shorty does not run away again, Mr. Drysdale promised. Oh, that is all over and done with, Jed assured them with a calm wave of his hand. Shorty cannot wait for the ceremony. Really? Miss Jane asked, skeptical. You ought to see him, Miss Jane, Jethro chimed in, bursting with excitement. He is just like a caged bear. And indeed, not far away, a very different kind of conversation was taking place. Have a heart, Alverna, Shorty pleaded, gripping the sturdy metal bars. Let me out of this dead, blasted bear cage. Stop complaining about this cage, Alverna replied, adjusting her hat with an air of absolute authority. It is my wedding present from Mayor Heller. Why could not he give you silver like other people? Shorty groaned, shaking the iron frame. He wisely decided this would be more useful, she countered smoothly. Oh, it is beautifully constructed. He built it himself. Do not go on that chat, Heller, Shorty muttered under his breath. He has to be a blacksmith. You got no one to blame but yourself, Alverna reminded him, tapping her foot. You had to go running away, going to see those pretty secretaries at the bank. You call them girls pretty? Shorty said, switching gears instantly to a flattering tone. Why, compared to you, they is a bunch of scarecrows. Then why did you keep going to see them? Alverna demanded, though her voice softened slightly. So I would enjoy seeing you all the more, sweetie pie, Shorty said, flashing his most charming smile. After you look at a bunch of turkeys, you appreciate the peacock. Oh, Shorty, you gorgeous creature, Alverna gasped, completely won over. Stop that, Shorty urged, seeing an opening. Your regular love got it. You got a man wild. If I was out there, I would grab you and kiss you. Oh, if you feel that way, I will unlock the cage, Alverna said, reaching for the key. That is my sweet baby. Come inside with you. Forget it, Shorty thought, but aloud, he could only watch as she paused.
Huh?
Folks have talked, Alverna said, stopping herself. I told her to sell you your lily white reputation. You were right, dear. We will both be strong. I will finish preparing your lunch. I am baking you a cake. Put a saw in it, Shorty muttered.
What was that?
Alverna asked, turning around. I said I saw it, Shorty lied quickly. It is a beauty. Outside the house, the old mountain truck rattled to a halt. I will put the truck around back, Jethro announced cheerfully. All right, boy, Jed said, stepping down. But remember, do not let Shorty out of that cage. I will not, Jethro promised. He is a tricky little rascal. Be careful he does not outsmart you, Granny warned, shaking her finger at the young man. Outsmart me? Jethro laughed, turning to an older relative. Did you hear that, Uncle Jeff? I heard it, Uncle Jeff nodded. Really? Jethro boasted, tapping his temple. This here is a 6th grade brain. Ain't no little country rude like Shorty Killam who is going to outsmart this. I got IQ that is way up yonder. I am what you call a giant intellect. All right, giant, Jed said, amused but cautious. Just do not let the man out of the cage. Jethro watched as Jed walked away, making a series of strange hand gestures. What about me when you do that? Oh, that there is sign language. I wonder what he is talking about. Hey, Shorty. Now do not think you can get me letting you out of that cage because you cannot. Too smart for that. Oh, I know that, Shorty said from behind the bars, his eyes gleaming with mischief. I got me a giant brain sitting up here betwixt my ears. I bet it is a beauty, Jethro said, instantly intrigued. I sure would like to have me a look at it.
How would you do that?
Shorty asked, playing along. By looking in your ear, Jethro explained confidently. Can you see a brain that way? Shorty asked, feigning ignorance. Sure, didn't you know that? Well, no, Shorty said, shaking his head. My eyes being on the front of my head and my ears on the side, I ain't never been able to look in at my own brain. Sure would like to see that rascal, though. Well, unlock this door, and I will come out and take a peek and tell you what it looks like, Jethro suggested, reaching for the latch. Oh, no, Shorty said, reversing the trap. I ain't letting you out of there. I am too smart for that. Okay, Jethro said, completely confused by his own logic. I am coming in. You can take a look at my brain. Shorty smiled broadly as Jethro unlocked the cage and stepped inside. Cannot wait to get a glimpse of that thing, Shorty said. It must be a monster brain. Oh, yeah, Jethro agreed proudly. Lots of folks that ain't seen it says I got the brain of a monster. Kind of hunker down so I can get a look. Okay, Jethro said, crouching. Face this way so the light will come in the side, Shorty instructed, moving toward the open door. Now hold real still. Jethro waited patiently in the dim light of the cage. This is it, he thought. Hey, what do you think you are doing? Jethro asked as he heard the heavy iron door slam shut and the lock click into place. Too dark in there to see your brain, Shorty called out, now completely free on the outside. I am gonna go get a flashlight. Well, I wasn't supposed to let you out, Jethro said, scratching his head through the bars. You didn't, Shorty laughed. I let myself out. Oh, Jethro said, nodding in relief. Well, in that case, Uncle Jed cannot get mad at me. Of course he cannot, Shorty agreed, backing away. See you later. Hey, Shorty? Jethro called out as the smaller man began to walk away. Yeah, Jethro? Granny said not to let you outsmart me. You didn't, did you? How could I outsmart a brain like yours? Shorty replied smoothly before disappearing around the corner. What am I worried about? Jethro told himself, settling down on the floor of the cage. All right, now, Shorty, you're gonna... A few minutes later, Jed walked into the backyard and stopped dead in his tracks. Jethro. What is up, Jed? Jethro asked cheerfully.
What are you doing in there?
Waiting for Shorty to come back with a flashlight. What does he need with a flashlight? Jed asked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and resignation. He's gonna shine in my ear, see if he can catch a glimpse of my giant brain. Jethro explained with absolute sincerity. He told you that? Oh, yes, sir. You cannot hardly blame him for wanting to see what is inside this head. True, Jed sighed, shaking his head. I have been wondering what is in there myself. All right, come on out, boy. Meanwhile, back at the Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills, Miss Jane hurried into the executive office with an urgent look on her face. Well, Chief, I am afraid I have bad news for you. Shorty Kellums is in the secretarial pool. How did you know? Mr. Drysdale asked, not looking up from his desk. I expected it. But this time I am ready for it. I deputized one of my employees. And I venture to say he is under arrest at this very moment. Listen. In the hallway, the sound of a struggle and lively banter could be heard approaching. Do not turn me into Mrs. Knight, Shorty voice pleaded. We can skip out of here and have us some fun. Sorry, Shorty. Gloria, the newly deputized secretary, replied firmly as she marched him into the office. There is a reward for your arrest, and I can use it. But 25. Besides, there is no future for me, Shorty argued, trying to pull away. You are getting married tomorrow. That gives us 24 hours, baby, Shorty winked. We will paint the town red. We will have the fling of fling. Burn the cattle at both of you. Just dance the night away. No sale, Gloria said, pushing him forward. I need that reward. Here he is, Mr. Drysdale. Good work, Gloria, the banker applauded. I accuse this officer of police brutality and cruelty, Shorty shouted, puffing out his chest. What did she do? Mr. Drysdale asked. She won't do nothing, Shorty complained. That is what is a cruel. Do I get my reward now? Gloria asked, turning to her boss. We will discuss that later. Mr. Drysdale dismissed her quickly. Okay, Shorty, now you are in for it. Do not hurt him, Miss Jane pleaded from the corner. I am not afraid of him, Shorty declared defiantly, looking at Mr. Drysdale. You think you are going to make me crawl in front of her, or you have got another thing coming. Let us go. What are you going to do? Lock me in a vault? Beat me to a bag of nickels? You cannot scare me, Drysdale. I am turning you over to Alverna Bradshaw, Mr. Drysdale said calmly. The defiance melted from Shorty's face instantly.
No, no.
Not that.
Please.
I promise. I will never come back. I will never bother you again.
Give me another chance.
Please, no. Have mercy. I cannot face it. Please. It is awful when they crack like that, Mr. Drysdale remarked to Miss Jane as Shorty sank into a chair, defeated. Later that afternoon, Jed and Mr. Drysdale stood by the curb, looking at an odd contraption on wheels. Steve, look at Shorty car, Mr. Drysdale said, gesturing to the vehicle. He will certainly never escape in this. I will say he won't, Jed agreed, inspecting the heavy iron welds. It looks like the handiwork of that master blacksmith, Mr. Heller. It is, Alverna said, joining them. Thanks for fetching over the prisoner. I mean the groom. I hereby remand him into your custody, Mr. Fabbit. Now, I hope you can keep him secure until the wedding. Well, I will do my best, Jed said. But I am sure I am going to miss old Chad. Mayor Heller is gone? Yes, ma'am, Alverna replied, turning to Granny, who had just walked up. He had to go back to Silver Dollar City. See, with everybody gone, the population is dropped down to 24. I do not understand, Granny said, frowning. Well, he has got to go back to get it back up to 25, so that the town can qualify for government aid, Alverna explained. I wish we might have said au revoir, Miss Jane sighed dreamily. Two of the most beautiful words in the whole language. Gee, au revoir is French, Jethro whispered to Ellie Mae. I was talking about government aid. Well, come on in, everybody, Jed invited, gesturing toward the living room. You are just in time for the wedding rehearsal. You mean you ain't gonna put me back in the cage? Shorty asked, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. That is right, Jed said. You are gonna practice with Alberta, saying I do. Put me back in the cage. Shorty begged immediately. Ready, Mr. Cloudbutt and bride? The director of the rehearsal called out. I am ready, Alverna declared. Ready? We will leave in action, the director nodded. Very well. Best man will enter with groom. If I am going to be handcuffed to the best man, could we get one with shorter legs? Shorty grumbled, looking up at the towering Jethro. You do walk more slowly, Jethro. Cannot we skip this and rehearse the part where we eat? Jethro asked, his stomach rumbling. You are not rehearsing the reception, Jethro, Miss Jane scolded. Now, when Mr. Cloudbutt reaches your side, you will unlock the manacle from your wrist and handcuff the groom to the bride. Do not you even trust me to stick around during the ceremony? Shorty asked, insulted. Orders are orders, Miss Jane said firmly. Now, Mr. Cloudbutt, when you give the bride away, perhaps I had better come up there and explain it to you. Jethro, we had best rehearse the part where you unlock the handcuff, Jed suggested. Good idea, Jethro said, fumbling with the keys. Did she say to unlock yours or mine? Mine, Shorty said quickly. Oh, say, Jethro, look up there. The way the shadow hits that wall, it looks exactly like a girl taking a sunbath. I do not see it, Jethro said, squinting at the ceiling. Keep looking, Shorty urged, slipping his hand out of the loose cuff. It will take shape. Shorty, start going if I can see a girl up there taking a sunbath, Jethro muttered, completely distracted. What is going on? Granny shouted, walking into the room and seeing the empty cuff swinging from Jethro's wrist. Granny, this ain't gonna be no shotgun wedding. It might have to be if the boy boob here keeps letting the groom get away. Did you get away, Shorty? Jed asked as Shorty was dragged back into the room by Ellie Mae. No, Shorty grumbled. He tried, but he did not make it. See, Uncle Jed, you got the giant brain on your side, Jethro smiled, completely missing the point. I am afraid so, Jed muttered. Well, things are slightly out of order, but let's proceed, Miss Jane ordered, trying to restore calm. Will the bridesmaid and flower girl come take your places? Oh, very nice. Right here beside the bride, Ellie Mae. You ready, Chief? All ready, Mr. Drysdale said, stepping into his role as the officiant.
Fine, Miss Jane said.
Proceed, Chief. Dearly beloved, Mr. Drysdale began, clearing his throat and adopting a solemn tone. We are gathered here to witness the joining together of this couple in happy wedlock. As I perform the ceremony, I am struck by the thought that getting married is like opening a joint account at the Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills, where your savings earn a full 5%. All right, Chief, that will do, Miss Jane interrupted, tapping her clipboard. But Granny wants to hear the words.
They make her cry.
Them don't, Granny snapped. They certainly make me unhappy. Friends, let us take it again from the top, Miss Jane sighed. Everybody back to your places. Can I stay and watch? Gloria asked, peeking into the room. Of course, Miss Jane said. Chief, please, no commercials this time. Well, okay, Mr. Drysdale pouted. If you want the same old dull ceremony you have heard 100 times. We do, Jed said firmly. Ready, Mr. Carver? Miss Jane asked. Ready, Jed replied. Ready, Ellie Mae?
Ready.
Ready, Jethro?
Ready.
Well, the best man ever with the groom. Miss Jane started, then stopped. Jethro, where's Shorty? What is the dog doing? The room fell silent as everyone looked at the hound dog sitting calmly where Shorty should have been, the handcuff secured around its collar. He disappeared, Jethro said, blinking in surprise. You have done it again, super boob, Granny yelled at Jethro. You let yourself get outsmarted. Did Shorty outsmart me? Jethro asked, genuinely puzzled. No, the ape did, Granny threw her hands up. Oh, that is good, Jethro smiled in relief. Shorty I gotta be careful of. Where is Shorty? Alverna cried out, panic rising in her voice. Do not tell me he has run away again. I am afraid so, Alverna, Jed said gently. Oh, I hope I won't appear oversensitive, Alverna sobbed, dabbing her eyes with a handkerchief. But I am beginning to get the suspicion that Shorty does not want to go through with this wedding. Oh, no, Jed comforted her. He just got a bad case of what you call bridegroom jitters. Worst I ever seen. All right, let us get on with the wedding rehearsal. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to join this couple in happy wedlock. Gee, don't you see who is handcuffed to the best man? Ellie Mae whispered, pointing at the dog still attached to Jethro. Personally, I see very little difference, Granny muttered. I am never going to get married, Alverna wailed. Oh, Alverna, do not cry, Miss Jane said, rubbing her shoulder. Shorty will be here for the wedding, I promise. I know where he is headed, Miss Jane, Jethro said suddenly. So, do I, Granny agreed. The secretary will pull him. He ain't got time to get far. Let us jump in your car and hit him off. My car is gone, Miss Jane realized, checking her purse for keys. I know who done it, Granny growled. Should I call a cab? Mr. Drysdale asked. No, it ain't part of the bank, Jed said. You go and comfort the bride. I will fetch the groom home. A short while later, Jed tracked Shorty down to a small diner on the edge of town.
Shorty.
Shorty Callum. What do you want? Shorty asked, barely looking up from his coffee. Shorty, you're getting married to Alverna Bradshaw in 24 hours, Jed reminded him, sitting down across from him. Now, why don't you just give up and face it? Jed, I know my time is running out. Shorty sighed heavily, looking toward the counter. But I ain't giving up hope. Say hello to hope. Alverna walked into the diner, carrying a large picnic basket. I prepared a delicious meal for you, Shorty Callum, though goodness knows if I should. Ain't every condemned man entitled to the last meal? Shorty asked gloomily. You keep talking that way, and I might just call off our wedding, Alverna threatened. Is that a promise? Shorty asked, his eyes lighting up. I am sorry, Miss Jane, Alverna said, turning to the secretary who had followed her. That is insult number 2. Try to behave like a gentleman, Miss Jane urged Shorty. I appeal to you as a man. You don't even appeal to me as a woman, Shorty countered sharply. That is number 3, Alverna cried. Now how do I have to go to reach a magic number? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but we are getting married in the morning, Alverna declared, turning on her heel and marching out. Oh, gone it, Shorty muttered. Back at the estate, Jethro was standing guard outside the resecured bear cage. Hey, Jethro, Shorty called out through the bars. Hey, now listen, Shorty, Jethro said defensively, folding his arms. You ain't tricking me again, so do not bother trying. All I want you to do is just fetch over old Duke, so I can give him a lunch, Shorty said innocently, pointing to the basket Alverna had left behind. You're going to give that lunch to a dog? Jethro asked, his interest piqued. Oh, I am too nervous to eat, Shorty sighed. Besides, it is just a big old thick hunk of tender, juicy pot roast swimming in blood. And a delicious brown gravy that you sop up with that fresh-mouthed water and cornbread. Hey, that is too good for a hound dog, Jethro said, his mouth watering. Let me eat. Okay, Shorty agreed. Boy, that smells good, Jethro said, reaching into the basket. Hey, I am starving. Here. Careful up, Jethro. It won't go through the bars. Call Duke, Shorty suggested. I will throw it out on the ground. Oh, no, Jethro panicked. Do not do that. I will come in and get it. Shorty, do I have your word of honor that you won't leave this cage? My word of honor? Shorty asked, a grin spreading across his face. That is the last thing on my mind. Okay, Jethro said, unlocking the cage and stepping inside to grab the plate. Shorty, you give me your word that leaving this cage was the last thing on your mind. It is, Shorty said as he slipped past Jethro, slammed the door and locked it from the outside. First, last, and only thing. Go on, Jethro. Well, Chief, there is your deputy, Miss Jane said a few hours later as she and Mr. Drysdale walked out to the backyard pool area. Some deputy, Mr. Drysdale snapped, looking at Gloria who was sitting by the water. You were supposed to arrest Shorty if he came in the secretarial pool. And you were supposed to give me a reward, Gloria countered. Okay. If Shorty shows up again and you arrest him and bring him here, you'll get your reward, Mr. Drysdale promised. How much? How does 50 sound to you? It sounds beautiful, Gloria smiled. Okay, that is your reward, 50. You are actually going to give her $50? Miss Jane asked, shocked by his sudden generosity. I never mentioned the word dollar, Mr. Drysdale whispered to Miss Jane. A reward is a birthday cake. A birthday cake? When she is 50, she gets it, Mr. Drysdale chuckled. Chief, you are rotten to the core, Miss Jane said, shaking her head. Rotten? The rich, Mr. Drysdale corrected proudly. Jed and Granny walked out to the bear cage, only to find a familiar face inside. Well, Shorty, I hope you had. Mr. Jethro? Jed blinked.